annual HR Leadership Conclave returns this week with the luminaries of the HR community distributing their knowledge and sharing ideas for the future of the HR industry in India. We pick up where we left off last week with a rousing discussion on sustaining employee engagement by designing right.
So let me start off by asking you, Madhvi, how does your organization really look at engagement given there are so many balls up in the air and things seem to change overnight all the time?
But I think fundamentally, engagement is about how do you get the employee to put in the discretionary effort. So all of us come to work, we do our job and we go back. But how do you get the employee to give that extra, which is above the job description, above the job objectives, above the call of duty? I think to my mind that would be engagement really.
So let me actually ask Pushp, how is engagement really playing out within HPCL?
Although there are both kinds of companies, PSU and effective, ineffective, things like that, still we live with a label of public sector. So there are certain distinct and different things which are there in public sector, which not to be judgmental about it, but the thing is that our USP is the kind of job security which we give. Now the flip side of that is that there is no actual pressure on performance. And see, what happens is, because of that, the problem which we face is something called mental attrition. The people don't leave us, but they switch off. Now that's a big problem. I don't know, we have recognized that and we find that that is the issue which needs to be tackled.
Well, let me go to Sanjeev. GMR, infrastructure giant, there's always more business than people to deliver, I'm sure. Things are always playing catch up. How do you even find time as an organization to engage employees?
GMR as an organization is maybe more than 3 decades old, but it's in the last decade and a half that the organization did phenomenal through its growth plans. Suddenly, started to dawn on us that the rate at which we thought that the projects would be coming up started to choke. So the pipeline started to dry up. So we had to borrow and we had to engage the people around that. And the levels of engagement were intense. People did not have any time to breathe. But ultimately it comes down to a phase of consolidation. So for GMR, it's God sent. We have revisited our entire strategy. We are now into our asset light, asset right strategy, where we have very meaningfully divested. But engagement of people, therefore, is the phase where we started to see that how to bring more and more role clarity.
Let me bring in Mr. Narayan here. What are you doing about, catering to the needs of the changing workforce at the same time, carrying forth a legacy which is quite strong and then probably has to be kept alive as an organization?
Over the years, I think the brand, and as you rightly said, the pride of the brand has been something which is the key motivator for people working in the organization. So over the last about our engagement, the so-called formal engagement journey is about 3 years old. And we've been doing formal surveys and trying to track what's happening in different parts of the business. And the results are really astonishing, actually. So when we first started the survey, we found that at a group level, we were at something like 55-56%, yeah? And we were wondering what's happening. So we started decoding it, looking at each business separately. The last engagement survey we did, this is the 3rd year, we found that the percentage of engagement has significantly gone up, but it doesn't correlate with the business performance. So there is something which is really more deeper.
Let me interrupt you there.
Really more deeper.
Let me interrupt you there. I think good time to actually bring in Srini here. I know personally that Piramal as an organization runs a process on driving employee engagement. So do you want to shed some light on that and what you're doing?
So if I look at the whole journey, I've been with this company since 1998. So if I look at this journey, 2001 was the year when the employee engagement survey has started. Till 2004, it was a survey. 2004, the employees started saying, what next? So our definition of engagement today is essentially creating a platform for employees to feel and live the values of the organization.
I want to bring in Harish here. One of the key issues that we have been finding through our research from an engagement perspective is really the idea of wellness. Wellness and health and well-being at the workplace, which seems to be impacting, how connected, how emotionally connected employees feel. You have an expertise in that area, Harish. Do you want to weigh in on how you see the health perspective being woven in by organizations into engagement?
Corporate HR, they are always looking for tools for employee engagement. I would like to look at it as a positive, that everybody, right from CO to CHRO to everybody in the HR department is always looking at employee engagement activities. Okay. Now, we partnered with ASSOCHAM, which is one of the industry bodies, for a very interesting study in 2010. If you spend money on health and say, yes, our interest was sector specific, we were looking at preventive health checkups. They found that 1 rupee you spend on a preventive health checkup program, 1 rupee, you save 133 rupees in absenteeism costs.
I want to bring in Anuj here. The other aspect that frequently gets left out as part of hygiene areas of engagement is really things such as employee benefits, and you work with an insurance organization, insurance broker. What is your perspective on this?
Our engagement with corporate HR is twofold as far as employee benefits is concerned. One is at the time of devising the insurance program for the organization. And I would very confidently say that in spite of the tough times which have been there in the industry for the last 3-4 years, I have not met anybody from corporate HR which has either told me as an insurance intermediary that you need to bring down the benefits just to save cost. So I think the focus more of corporate HR today as far as employee benefits is concerned, as far as benchmarking in the industry, across industry, they look for an insurance intermediary who has worked within the industry with a similar client. What are the kind of employee benefits are being enjoyed over there? How we can better it, probably at the same cost. And by fair competition between insurance companies, we can also save on the cost.
We have always read prevention is better than cure. And in a country like India, prevention is really needed. Why is it really needed? 1 in 4 Indians is a potential cardiac victim or a cardiac patient. 1 in 10 is a diabetic. And cancer is the 3rd largest killer. So if we are not going to focus on prevention of cardiac, diabetes and cancer, and we are talking of global dreams of being, the world's #1 economy by 2020, and you have a huge population of young people, right? A percentage of people below 35 is a huge number of people are going to come into the workforce. And if they're going to have problems like cardiac, diabetes and cancer, and we don't have any program to address that, we are sitting on a time bomb.